Hello, what's up, people? Let me fix the mic. Mic check 1 2 3 1 2 3. Is my sound coming through? Alright, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Sculpting Bootcamp. This is the place where I'll be taking you through the very beginnings of ZBrush. What's up, Clarissa? Yeah, you don't need any experience. I'll be going through the very basics and we'll be sculpting together. So, yeah. And if you don't already know, my name is Onua. I'm gonna be your instructor today. I'm a third semester student here at CADA, so yeah. Feel free to ask me any questions related to what we're doing or related to the school or whatever. It's all okay. That's why we're doing it live. What's up, San? Hey. What's up, Bill? Yeah. Okay. So without further ado. Yeah, so usually I pick a subject to sculpt from every week, and this week, because we just entered October, I thought a pumpkin would be kind of cool and fun to do together. So as always, feel free to do whatever it is that you want to do. The knowledge that I'll be teaching you here is applicable to any kind of sculpting that you want to do. We'll just be going over the basics. But yeah, it would also be cool if you joined me and sculpted your own little version of the pumpkin. Maybe you can do a little pumpkin carving too, if that's what you feel like. So, yeah, I'll just give a little quick minute for people to get in here, but how are you all doing, by the way? Has it been a nice evening for you all? And are you ready for some ZBrush? And I ask every time if you all have had some like ZBrush experience before, or is there people that are completely new in the chat? Either way, I'll be going over the very basics. Hold up. And is the sound coming through as well? Is it okay? Oh. And yeah, while we're giving it a minute, if you don't have ZBrush Core Mini, you should definitely go ahead and download it so you can follow along with me. First time today. Alright, nice. Well, that's fine. That's more than okay. Do you have a drawing tablet? Or are you just using a mouse? These kind of things. Alright. Okay, let me know if people have Core Mini up and running and you guys have it in front of you and you're ready to sculpt. If not, I'll sort of just be going over the basics, but feel free. If I lose anyone at any point, you guys are more than welcome to like say, hey, you know, could you go over this thing again, or this went a little bit too fast or something like that. Feel free to. Just make sure that you open up ZBrush Core and you should be met with this little thing here. If you end up fucking something up and you're like, oh no, I don't know what to do, you can click this little button up here and then click no to saving the changes and it should reset your whole scene. Okay, so for the very basics, what you wanna get into is how to move around in your little UI. So what we can do is make a little mark just for the stream so it's a bit easier to see what's going on. So yeah, what we're doing here is just sculpting a little mark so you can see. So whatever it is that your sculpture is going to be made out of this little ball of clay here. And you want to be able to look around your ball of clay. And how you do that in Core Mini is just that you click outside your little ball of clay. You just click and hold. Click and hold. And that's how you rotate. You orbit around your little sculpture like this. Yeah. And then to pan around, you hold Alt and then left click. So you can use these two in combination. Just left click and then Alt and left click. And it's the same whether you're using a little pen, as I will be today, or a mouse as well. It's all the same. Left click, Alt, and drag around. Now, if you want to zoom, it's a little bit weird in ZBrush. If you're not used to that, then you're coming from other 3D softwares. But the way to do that is holding Alt and then left clicking. Alt and then left click. So what you might end up doing is holding Alt, holding left click, and then you're panning around. But actually what you want to do is hold Alt, left click, and then let go of Alt. And that's how you zoom in. So left click to orbit, Alt plus left click at the same time to pan around, Alt, left click, and let go of Alt to zoom in. If you ever end up in this situation where you can't see what's going on, or maybe you lose your camera position, or you don't know where stuff is, you can click on F to go back. So F for frame, so you basically frame your sculpture and then you can zoom out. Or you can also click this little frame button out here. Oop. So for the new people, are you able to follow along? If there aren't a lot of questions, I'll sort of just, get into the meat of it and start sculpting a little bit and get into how the tools work. But at any point, feel free to stop and say like, hey, like this thing is a little bit confusing. Could you go over that again? I definitely don't mind doing that. So as for the navigation, the orientation, yes, okay, great. I'm happy to hear that. So for the orientation, this is the front of your sculpture basically. And if you ever get lost about where you are in space, you can look at this little head up in the top right. And you can click and drag this guy to choose which way that you're facing. So this is the front of our head right now. And that becomes a little bit important when we start working with symmetry. So we want to make sure that we're symmetrical to the front and we're not sculpting in some weird axes that doesn't work for what we want to do. Okay. So that's pretty much all you need to know for navigation right now. And at this point we can just get into like the tools that we have to use. So I don't know, Bio, if you've done any kind of modeling before, or are you completely new to 3D in general? But regardless, sculpting works a little bit different from modeling, in ways that can be a great advantage or disadvantage too. So we have a bunch of different brushes up here that we can use. I'll just be going over the main ones right now. So first one is a standard brush. We can just start with that one. So what happens when we select a brush and we start drawing on our surface? Well, we push out on it. So we actually get some volume here. So just left click and drag. And you can see with my tablet here, if I press very hard, I get a lot of volume. If I press very little, I get a little bit of volume. So I can sort of feather out stuff if I need to. With a mouse, you can still sculpt. With a mouse, especially for today, it's totally fine. You just get like an even line with volume. So while using the brushes here in ZBrush, if you just do it normally, you push out, but you can also hold Alt, and you see there's a little minus icon that comes where your cursor is, and you take away volume, so you dig in. So you can hold Alt to dig in. And these two in combination is super useful. So left click to push out, and Alt to push in. And we'll start fresh once I'm done with the initial explanation, so don't worry about ruining your little sphere in the beginning. Quite a new medium for me. Alright, that's fine. We'll take you right through it. So what you did in Blender was probably polymodeling, right? So you have your box, and then you can extrude faces and sides from it and work with the vertices and edges and all of that jazz to get your model. So we do have faces and vertices and all that in ZBrush too. We just work with a large amount of them, and when we use the brushes, they sort of push out on those faces and vertices. And in this case, in Core Mini, it automatically, for us, creates new faces and new geometry and all that. You don't need to worry too much about it for this demonstration, but that's basically what's going on. So it's still the same as what you experienced in Blender, it's just a different way to work in 3D. And it feels very different too. So yeah, just with these two features here, like carving in with the standard brush and pushing out, you can already start to get some weird, sort of interesting shapes. And if I ever make a little mark that I don't like, you can Control Z to undo that, and Control Shift Z to redo it. So Control Z to undo. Same in many softwares. So let's say we're at this point where we have some kind of lumpy mess with our brush. I'm sure you're all trying something right now on the little sphere. So we can smooth out stuff in ZBrush too. So Alt was to carve in, but if we hold Shift, the cursor turns like this orange yellow, and then we can smooth out. So you see how it becomes smoother. And you gotta be a little bit careful with this feature because it also like decimates any kind of detail that you put in, but it can be a very useful feature. So you can smooth out. Yeah. So Alt to dig in, Shift to smooth out. Let's clear it up. Another brush we have here is the clay build-up brush. It's sort of the same thing as the standard brush. It just builds up clay, but it does it in like more of a, for me at least, more intuitive way, where you kind of put down strips of clay instead, and you can sort of build on top. So this is the way that I like to work personally with ZBrush. So I build up a volume, and then I carve out from it, and then I can build up a new volume here. Then I get sort of what it is that I'm looking for, and then I use other tools to smooth down whatever geometry that I have here, so you can kind of get whatever shape it is that you're looking for. Yeah, I hope that makes sense. Let's say we want a lip right here, a goofy little creature, some thick eyebrows. You can build that up, then you can go over and kind of clean that up afterwards. I hope that makes sense. Big ass lips, yep. So yeah, those are like the basic two main brushes that you will be using a lot. And then there's a bunch of different ones that I might go over if I start using them. Like the polish one, you can kind of see what that does. Literally what the name suggests, it's a polishing brush. You can use that, you can play around with it. I might use it at some point, I don't know yet, we'll see. But so yeah, bigger lips. Okay, so one more very important brush to use is the move brush. So at this time I'll also teach you how to increase or decrease the size, right? It's just up here, the draw size. It should be kind of intuitive what that does. Just a small one, you get a small brush. Big draw size, you get a big brush. So S to increase or decrease the draw size. So what we use the move brush for in 3D is like for so many different things. When it comes to changing the overall shape of whatever it is that you're sculpting, you can do that. Let's say we want him to be a little bit more flat at the bottom. We go in with a very big move brush, and then we can sort of move him into place. Instead of sitting there and trying to carve it out by hand, you can use this move brush and pull and push let's say we want his eyes to be a little bit more prevalent. Now we're kind of getting this weird looking maybe frog creature or something like that. And then once we've pulled, we can go back with our clay build-up and then build up some more volume around here and really define those shapes, right? That's kind of the general workflow. Okay, so I think for now that's actually enough of an introduction to get started. While I'm talking, if you guys can, I would just like you to play around with it, right? Like, just get used to the keys, to navigating around and like putting down clay on your little ball. So, you can click this little sphere icon up here to reset. So I'll just make a little X or something on my ball so I know which way is what. So yeah, let me know if how is it so far? Like, am I losing people? Is it going too fast? Is it going too slow? I'd like to know that. But at this point, I'll just start with my own pumpkin right here to scale the brush size mid-screen. So it's S. S is the hotkey, and you can go ahead and scale it right there. So I just click S and then I drag and let go. S, and then you get this little menu. You can click and drag. Ooh. For the people that are just joining, I am just about to start, so it's the perfect time to hop in and join already. Or yeah. Don't worry too much about it. If there's any questions and you're just joining into the stream, I'll more than happily answer them. What's up, Renas? Thank you, bro. You want to come to sculpt the pumpkin with me? Or are you doing your course in there? Okay, everybody, it's time to get started with this pumpkin. Let's go. So, first things first, we look at the overall shape, right? And luckily for us, we literally have a sphere. A sphere that's kind of squished up here as the button for the symmetry, so don't lose that. So we can make a large draw size with a move brush, and we can get the overall. How do I turn this feature off? So there's a mirror activate symmetry up right up here next to the draw size. You can click X as the hotkey, or you can just click the button up here. So I'll go in right here with a large draw size and flatten out my sphere to get that pumpkin shape. So just checking it from the other angles. And one thing you might see me do a lot is while I'm moving, I'll snap to like a view so I don't get confused. And to do that, you just hold shift and then you snap. So now I'll lower my draw size, because I want to make that dent right in the middle. So let's make sure that we actually do get it kind of in the middle. Of course, in the real ZBrush, there's a way to do like, make sure that your model stays completely round in all directions. But with Core Mini, we just have to be a little bit vigilant and make sure that we do that on our own. So right now I'm just trying to get that general pumpkin shape. Feel free to work on your own pumpkin shape and all that. They come in many different sizes and shapes. I actually have like a little board here with a bunch of different ones. And so feel free to find your own reference or just use the one I'm using. That's also a-okay. So I'll work a little bit more on this middle dent here. Getting that main shape. Okay, there we go. There we go, there we go. So at this point I'm kind of happy with the main shape, aside from the fact that it's square from above. I'll fix that. Whoop. Okay. So we want to make those ridges on our pumpkin, and the question is, well, how do we go about doing that? So there's a couple different ways. We could, for example, take our standard brush, hold Alt, and carve in like a ridge right here, and a ridge right here. And to be honest, that could kind of work. Like, it doesn't look... Like, we could work from that, right? I'm not saying it's going to be a finished thing. We could work from that. We could also go in with the clay buildup. And instead of carving in, we could build up volume. So we could go something like that. And we could build up volume like that. That's a different way of going about it. And it's honestly like free for interpretation, right? You do whatever it is that you feel like is kind of fitting for you in the moment, right? It sort of just depends on what you're doing. So I'll just go with the simple way right now, because some of you all might be using a mouse right now. I'll go ahead with the standard brush and then I'll carve in. We can increase or decrease the intensity up here on the intensity slider. Then we can get a deeper carve if that's what we want. It might be a little bit much. So now I'll just start. Then I'll go ahead, carve in, maybe a little bit smaller. And these artifacts that come, we'll try to clean them up. This is sort of just like the initial. Oh. So you can kind of go ahead with these ridges around your pumpkin. Whoop. Maybe we go... Should we make a big one right here? Yeah, let's make a big one. Okay, there we go. So now we can take the move brush, maybe adjust some stuff if we feel the need to. Say this one turned out a little bit too big. Maybe we can move it around a little bit. Adjust the proportions. Yeah, let's say that's good for now. So how do we go about cleaning this up? Because it looks a little bit messy right now. Well, this is where I would go in with my clay buildup. And then you can sort of go over these ridges. So you could also go over it with a polish brush if that's what you wanted, and like flatten it out a little bit or something like that. I'll go with the clay buildup, and then I'll go over right here and create like a little volume along this ridge right here. Then you sort of gotta work on your volume. You gotta work on defining it. What is it that it actually looks like, right? Like, what does this corner look like? You know, it's not It's not just up to the way the brush looks, it's up to your imagination. So I go in and I clean it up like this. Another way to do these ridges could have also been to take a big standard brush, right? And then go over it and then do that. And then you would also have sort of a similar result. You might have even gotten a better result, right? That almost instantly looks like a very pumpkin-y kind of thing. You just adjust the intensity and all that. But I like to fiddle it with it a little bit, so I'll go over here. Now I just sculpt on top. Are you all able to sort of get started on your pumpkin? So we can work on all this a little bit later. Let's worry about the front for now, how that looks, and then if we have time we can really make every part of it very pretty. And this is where a drawing tablet comes in very handy. It really helps with these kind of things. If you're on a mouse, it's a little bit more difficult, and you might find other methods more like easy. Like going ahead with a big standard brush and just making the ridges that way. This is where we're at, sort of. Maybe we could even, we could even go ahead and change the color to something more pumpkin-esque. Yeah, that's nice. Okay, so let's work on the stem a little bit. Let's try to pull that one out. A way we could do that is with another brush called the snake hook. This snake hook brush is really cool because what you can do with it is you can just pull out mesh. So if you wanted your pumpkin to be a little demon pumpkin, you could pull out some horns right here. That would be kind of cool. That'd be pretty fun. Maybe you could give him a mustache or something like that. Whoop. Mustache and horns. But what we're gonna use it for right now is just to make the stem. So let's try to pull it out, and then we can adjust it as well afterwards. So it is a little bit difficult to get in there. Let's go right here. Yep, sure. Let's call that our stem for now. And this is where we go in and we can adjust stuff. So we go in with the move brush here. You can pull this together a little bit. Then we can probably turn off symmetry right here. That is a cool shape for like a stem, you know. Honestly, it wasn't the intention, but sometimes happy accidents happen. So let's just call that a purposeful choice. It looks like the stem has sort of been cut. So I can go in here with the polish brush and actually flatten this. So it looks like it has been cut and it's kind of like split in the middle. That's cool. Let's keep that. Nice. For the people just joining in the chat, it's never too late to join in. Just gotta get the Brush Core Mini and hop in and join me. We can sculpt together. And feel free, don't be scared. You can always ask questions, even if you join late, it's more than okay. If there's something you would quickly like me to go over again, it's also more than okay. Like if you're confused about the navigation or anything at all, it's totally fine. Okay, let's keep moving. I'll turn symmetry back on. Go in there with the clay buildup tool. Go ahead and give this all some volume. Also, if you have a specific ZBrush question or 3D question, I can also try my best to answer that. If there's anyone out there working on a project, they're having trouble with it, you know, while I'm live, I do not mind helping out with stuff, answering questions and all that. So I just go ahead, give all of this some volume. Whoop. Okay, looks fine for now. If we want to, we can go in and smooth it. We just gotta be careful, you know, because it ruins the detail a little bit too. We might not want that. So, yeah, sort of where do we go from here? So now we could personalize our pumpkin, if that's what we want. We give it a little face or something. While I think about that, I'll just work on the stem a little bit more, probably build up like a little root of it, kind of. See, they do have something like that. Nice, there we go. Then if your ZBrush ever starts getting laggy or something, you can click these buttons up here to remesh it down. So I'll click on low right now, and then it will reduce the poly count so it's not so laggy for us. Maybe we can go in with a lull brush here and work on some of these creases. That'd be cool. If it feels like there's not enough geometry to work, like if it's all weird and jagged and stuff, you can smooth it a little bit. And then that will also add some more polygons for us to work with. Looks good, thank you, Andreas. Yeah, I thought since it was October, might as well get started on the pumpkins. People can make their own decorations this year instead of buying them from the store. I'm not at that level yet, but I was wondering if it's possible to export your sculpt into another 3D program to rig and pose. Yeah. Andreas Androuglis said it the way it is. Yeah, you can definitely do that. Let's see. So you would go save project as. Actually, I never did export out of ZBrush Core Mini, but I do know that people have done it. So there's this button right here, export for 3D printing. How about we just save our project real quick first? So we call it Pumpkin Bootcamp. Save. And then there's this export for 3D printing, and then you get an OBJ file that you can open in Blender easily, or a resin printer software or something if that's what you're into. Or yep. Okay, there we go. ZBrush for iPad, I have not had the privilege of trying it, but I've been super excited for it. Some people say it's hard, but I've also seen some nice results from it, so I'm curious about it. Well, obviously, I mean, the nicest thing about it is it's so easy to just get started with stuff, right? Like, you don't have to sit down with this huge tablet in front of a PC when you're just having like a little creative moment. I feel like I way overcomplicated this stem, and it's not working for it, which happens. It does happen. So let me just smooth it down a little bit again. Okay. Okay, so let's try some fun stuff because we got extra time, and you know, I'm here. There hasn't been a lot of questions today, so I might as well just go for it, you know, like we saved our project. It's okay to try stuff now. So let's try to give it some personality, do a little pumpkin sculpt into it, like a carving. So we can look at some of these little guys over here, do some fun stuff with it. So I think I'm gonna do a mustached man. Let's try. It can be very difficult to do some stuff with Core Mini, I will admit that, like a little bit. Yeah. So let's try it. Hold up, let me oops. Save before I do something super crazy. Then we'll go back in. Boom. We're going with the move brush and adjust the way these things look. Make it more mustachy. So you can carve out here, then carve back in. Can go in and make like a little dude right here. Feel free to ask questions, by the way, people. I'm just going doing a little bit more than I expected, since there hasn't really been a lot of questions this time around. But I'm hoping that's because people are busy working on their little on their pumpkin. Give him this kind of big nose. I think that'd be funny. Yeah, so just going over, giving it some more detail. And when you're seeing me working on all these things, what you gotta keep in mind is that I'm always thinking about what is the biggest shape that I can make right now, pretty much, right? Like you wanna work from the largest shape to like the smallest shape. And if you're not used to art as a whole, but if you have drawn a lot before, you might be very familiar with that. Of working is super important. And I'm still practicing that like every day. Marvelous, thank you. He is a bit of a gentleman. Well, ZBrush is giving me some weird artifacts here. Not really entirely sure what that's about. Yeah. So we can just smooth them out and kind of start a little bit over. I wonder if we could give him a big beard. How about it? Since we have the time. Yeah, let's just have fun with it. Nice eyeballs without the soft edges. See, that is a thing that is very, very difficult in Core Mini. But it is a thing that's a lot easier in the regular ZBrush. And also in the sculpting mode in Blender. So basically the way you do it is you just add a sphere and you make it a separate object from the sculpture you're working on, and you just put it where you need it. And then you'll retain those very sharp edges, so you don't need to worry about it. That's kind of one of the things about Core Mini, because it's free, you know, that's how they limit it. So you can only do one object at a time, which makes stuff like that a little bit difficult, sadly. You know, I wish we could, but... I think I'll just delete this lower beard. It's kind of difficult to do it with the limits that I have, so I'll just keep it like this and work a little bit more on what I do have. Yeah, so if I wanted to add eyeballs here, that'd be very difficult because I can't really do that. I mean, best way in here would probably be to like add them in and then just go over it with a very small brush. Smooth it out a little bit, but it is not really, it is a bit difficult. You know, maybe we'll just keep them like this, why not? So, try to clean them up a little bit. We can add a little bit to his brow here. You know, give the feeling of some directionality to his, kind of like I did with the beard here. You see the way I'm doing my brush strokes. Just helps a little bit because we're under a lot of limits with what we have, so might as well try to use it. And you can do a lot with these very basic tools. So there we go. How's it going, Bio? Are you able to like do some stuff? Like, has the intro been working a little bit for you? I mean, really the point of this bootcamp is just to get you started, and then you can do stuff on your own, right? Sometimes the hardest thing is the getting started part. Okay, I'll keep working on my little guy here. Maybe go back to my reference a little bit. Cool little thing we can do is with like a reverse inflate, we can make a little bit of a tip right here. I have to get used to building up the pumpkin though. Yeah. Are you using a tablet or using a mouse? Mouse, yeah, that makes it a lot more difficult. You could try stuff like, you know, instead of building up, you can use more of these kind of volumes with the big standard brush, and that might help you. Like if I try here with my mouse, because I'm using a tablet, you know, try with my mouse, it's also a little bit difficult to sort of build up those volumes because you lose control over it and it becomes a mess very quickly. Because you can't be gentle with it the same way you can with a tablet. Like if I feel there's a little bit of volume missing here, I just gently press and you see how it kind of fills that out. Like right here. And it kind of works in my favor that way. I mean, what the heck? It's like a Halloween pumpkin at this point, right? So we might as well make it a little bit disturbing. I think that's only fitting. You can give him some big nostrils. We got the hair coming out of them. Let's fix up the eye a little bit. And for all the people that are joining late, it's never too late to join. Even if you're joining at the end of it, you know, it's still a lot better than never getting started. So feel free to join in, and I can always help you if there's something that you're confused about or something like that. Or something you would like me to go over again. So right now I got lost inside of it. I can just click frame and then I'm out here again. Maybe we can work in some detail up here in the stem then. That could also be fun. Ooh. So it's starting to lag a little bit. I can click this low button here to remesh it. Get the poly count a little bit down. So as I'm getting closer and closer to the finish line with this sculpture, I'll go lower and lower with my brush size, right? So really work in those details. So I know I'm about happy with this stem. It could just use a little bit more detailing. So now is the time where I'll go in and work on that. And don't worry about, so if your PC starts lagging, it is not your PC's fault, it is Core Mini's fault. Core Mini has a very easy time lagging, but that does not mean normal ZBrush will lag for you in this way at all, or Blender for that sake. It's just Core Mini that's being this way. And if it starts lagging like that, you just click this low button up here. What do you enjoy sculpting the most? Well, I'm a massive nerd, and I love characters, and so yeah, that's kind of what I'm focusing on at the moment. I just love, I'm trying to get good at sculpting characters. That's sort of what I enjoy. I can show you some of what I've done in the past, if you're interested. So here's my art station. It's the kind of stuff I did in the past. Currently I've been working on a big project, a character. I haven't put it out yet here. And it's been really fun. This is also done in ZBrush. Yeah, this was a course though, so it was a little bit more of a chore, but I really like characters. I want to get a lot better at doing that. That's kind of why I'm here at the school. I'm here to hone those skills. And maybe one thing I'm finding that I'm lacking the most on this journey is actually my art skills more than my 3D sculpting skills, which is kind of interesting. So I've been having a lot of fun teaching myself that kind of stuff and getting taught as well. Yeah. Arbetspaket. Okay, back to Pumpkin Man. What else can we add on this guy? I mean, guys, we got like about half an hour left. I can just keep going. Cool, thank you. Should we add a different face on the back, or is that like too much? That would be kind of weird, wouldn't it? Might make it more confusing than what it's worth. Add a body? Ooh, you know what? Okay, let's go for it. This is a moment where we go ahead and say save. I mean, so our poly count here is very limited, and this will start lagging very quickly. But, you know, just for the sake of the time that we have left, let's just try it, you know. See how far we can go. I've never taken Core Mini this far before, but let's give him a body. Let's see what happens. So I'll pull out a little bit of mesh here. And then I'm gonna try to pull out some more mesh. So this is gonna be his neck. So I'll go in with the inflate brush just to give us more to work with. And then I'll smooth it out. I'll remesh it. Snake hook out. So let's give him a little bit of a rib cage here. Move brush, just get the shape of his neck a little bit more proper. So, of course, this guy is a Halloween creature, so we can be a little bit, you know, we can try some weird stuff with him a little bit. Let's say this is sort of where his shoulders go. And this is hard because usually you would divide these things into more manageable groups of clay pieces, right? There we go. Say this is his waist right here. Then maybe some long legs on this guy, like long slanky legs would be kind of fun. Just playing around with something right now. Let's find a design that we think is kind of funny. What if this guy was like a maybe like a festival worker? Give him some big shoes. We can change around the proportions, make him a little bit more interesting to look at. Okay, I think we can push this even more. Really just go wild with it. We are running into a little bit of limitation though. Oh, what's happening? It's inflating the whole thing. We did not want that. Give him some arms here. Okay. yeah, having a plan is definitely the way to go about these things, you know? Going into it without a plan, you get some fucking weird shit, but I guess in this case it'll be alright. It'll be kind of funny. So, yeah. So build up his basic body shape a little bit better. Beautiful. Thank you. Yeah. So in this case, working with Core Mini is very difficult for this purpose, but I'll just take it as a challenge right now. Okay, what should we give him? Maybe we work on the top part right now. Let's see, how long do we have left here? Okay, about 25 minutes. Top hat if possible. Oh my god, that's difficult. I think I'll try to give him like a little bit of a blazer or something like that. Let me actually look up what a blazer. It's one of those things where you might think you know what it looks like, but you still gotta look it up real quick just to make sure. Give him a little bit of a shirt right here. Do not try this at home, by the way. Making a full character in Core Mini, that's actually a madman challenge. So funny. What the heck? What have we done here, people? This is not what we're supposed to do today. What the heck? I am enjoying it though. Oh, it's hard to get that blazer shape. Okay, let's try to carve it in. So what are we looking for? Like, sort of that. Or am I wrong? A little bit wrong. Not like that. Like this. Let's remesh because it's getting laggy a little bit. There we go. Okay, then maybe we can turn off symmetry right here, make it go across, then down. Kind of have a little jacket going on here. I don't know if this looks difficult on stream, but I can promise you I'm struggling right here. Fabio, I never asked you, like, what are you trying to, like, get out of 3D and sculpting and all that? Did you come into it with a specific purpose? Or are you just trying to enjoy it a little bit? Just trying to build up the volume here. You see how I'm going over it with the clay build up, trying to get a sleeve in here. So I'm going over it. And right here, because it's getting too thin, we can use the inflate brush. It just kind of thickens it up a little bit. Oh no. That's what happens, everybody, when you take it too far. Core Mini crashes on you. That is what we get. How sad. Wow. Man, that is sadness. That hurts my soul. I was so proud of my guy right there. Oh well. Oh well. Oh well. Yeah. Yeah. I wonder if there's a quick save for this. There probably is not, though. Oh, that hurts. Oh well. It is what it is, and that's why you save often. Well, I hope I could get you a little bit of what you wanted at least. You could see a little bit of a character, even though I didn't finish it. It is what it is. Okay, so see, we have these different materials out here, because I'm kind of getting to the point where I want to take a picture of what I have. So on the Discord, if you do end up making something and have followed along a little bit, I'd love to see what you've made. I really do enjoy it when people post their stuff. So yeah, there's this, you might have seen it already if you come from the Discord. There's this 3D Bootcamp chat where people post all their stuff. Yeah, so feel free to post stuff on there. This is from the last last ZBrush bootcamp, and people post stuff. It's really cool. And I'll probably take a picture of this as well and then post it in there. To take a picture is like right here, you can click export. I wonder. I wonder how this is gonna turn out. MPEG file, sure. So you can export pictures right there, and you can export a turntable. That's kind of just like where you rotate, like a little video that rotates around your sculpture, so you can see what it is. But it exports in a weird file format. So you'll probably open it with VLC player, yeah. It's kind of cool, because it kind of just keeps spinning. Yeah, but for my thing, I'll just take a picture of it. Boop. So I'll do Pumpkin Man Bootcamp. There we go, and then I'll just go ahead and put it in the Discord, and I hope to see some other people putting it in. How do you render it? So there's a couple different options up here. You can export an image at the top, you just click it, and then it will take a picture of what you have on your screen right now. You can click record turntable, and then it will make a little video of your sculpture turning around, and you can see it, and it just keeps spinning and spinning. Yeah, like this. The file format is a little bit weird though, so you have to open it with like a VLC, a video player or something like that. Maybe I can get a bit of a bigger picture, like here or something, and then I say export image. Okay, great. So I'll go ahead and put that in the Discord. Yo, I'd love to see if you did something as well, you know. It doesn't have to be pretty or anything, it's just nice to see what people are doing. There we go. So alright, here is my sculpt from today's bootcamp, Pumpkin Man. Pumpkin Man. Has yeah. Just pulled out a screenshot from the stream. There we go, boom, boom, boom. I'd love to see other people, and if you're watching this on YouTube and you're not watching live, I'd still recommend you guys post there. It's so nice to be around other people that do 3D, and I still love to look at it all. So yeah. So there we go. Did you figure out the rendering part, Bill? Okay, let's save this thing out. Whoop. I don't think I did any changes, but are you taking a screenshot and stuff and putting it out there, or should I call it a night? I'll wait around for a little bit if you're still working on all that, but if there are no more questions and all that, I'll just, you know, leave it as it is, I would say. I definitely had fun today though, trying to sculpt the whole body and stuff in Core Mini was definitely a challenge, to say the least. All right. Okay, everybody, if there are no more questions and stuff like that, I think for tonight I'll call it. I hope that you also, basically all I wanted out of this session was for people to get introduced. Oh, Bill posted, I want to see it, hold up, before I call it. I'd like to see that. Whoa. Nice. So let's go on Discord. Sorry for almost closing the stream on you right there. There it is. A pumpkin. Fantastic. You can say what you want, but at the very least you can tell that that is a pumpkin. No doubt about it. And for that, you get a heart. And you get a fire icon. Good job, you. That's all. I hope you could sort of understand what ZBrush is about. And kind of like how it fits into the 3D space or whatever. And you could get like a little introduction to it. I would recommend, if you do enjoy it, to pick up like a cheap tablet, you know. It doesn't even have to be one of those with a display or something like that. It's not super needed for sculpting. Just anything will help you out a lot. So yeah, cool. I'm happy you wanted to join with me today, and I hope you got something out of this stream. That's really all I wanted. So yeah. And I'm glad to see that you got something as well to post. That's awesome. Okay. On that note, everybody, I'll end it. I'll be back next week, same time on Wednesday. So I'll see you all there for a modeling stream. So if you want to try the other side of 3D, the more modeling side instead of the sculpting side, join me then. Okay, bye bye everybody. I hope you will have a nice rest of your evening or morning or whatever you are doing. Thank you for explaining the basics. Certainly will be practicing more. That's awesome. That is more than, like, that's awesome. Yeah, if you can keep doing it after today's stream, then mission successful from my side, to be honest. Yeah. Okay, everybody.